hopefully. See if Twitch catches up. Okay, great. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another sort of Wednesday session here. Today we don't have any portfolios. Nobody volunteered a portfolio or anything like that. So instead of our usual kind of portfolio feedback session, I thought we'd try something different and maybe work on a side project or just this idea that's kind of been percolating in my head for a little bit. On Saturday mornings, we've been working on the portfolio, which is kind of fun, but it's a very personal project, and so I wanted to kind of think about approaching something that's a little bit more entrepreneurial, a little bit more realistic of maybe like a product you might think that's kind of fun, think that's kind of cool, and just kind of work on developing it. And so it's going to be today's going to be a fun one. I'm just kind of talk about the idea, and then launch into kind of starting to validate it, starting to get some feedback on it, and kind of what my process would be for how I would approach this idea and how I would approach this from a product development perspective, from a design perspective, from an entrepreneurial perspective, from a development, actual production perspective, and just try and kind of run the gamut here. And my goal of this is to kind of run these streams and kind of be like a truly open sort of company or startup here. I don't know. We'll see how far this even gets. But that's kind of my goal, or at least my ambition, to run this as openly as possible. I love the open startup movement and everything that kind of goes along with that, and I've been watching it for a long time and have been kind of chomping at the bit here, trying to see like when can I do this, or when do I feel like I'm going to have an idea that's worth going for. And something that I was thinking about is sometimes you don't need to wait for that perfect idea to come around. You just need to go for it. So here we are going for it. And this was an idea that actually came up with, or didn't come up with. It kind of stumbled upon it last week. I was talking to a designer friend of mine, and he's also looking to start a company, kind of build some monthly recurring revenue for himself. And we were just kind of talking about that and kind of like discussing like what are the challenges that we face in going about doing that, and what are our goals, what would be super awesome, what would be super fun. And one thing that kind of came up in our conversation is that it's super hard to get motivated and stay motivated on a side project. There's kind of this idea that we have this cool idea, we might start working on it, and then all of a sudden like 2 months go by, something else comes up, something new and shiny comes along, and it's hard to keep our focus and attention on it. And so we're just kind of talking about that, kind of brainstorming like ways that he could stay focused. He's actually being very proactive. He's clearing some time off of his schedule, really kind of buckling down there, which I think is super awesome. But for some people, so that's very like intrinsically motivated. He's got some good core motivation there to help himself. But for other people, it's a lot harder. We're looking for like more extrinsic motivation or something else that's outside of your control that can help motivate you and help drive you. And that's kind of what I've been thinking about. How could we create some sort of way to extrinsically motivate people to work towards this goal of monthly recurring revenue, or a little bit of money coming in every month outside of your normal paycheck, outside of your normal job. And so that's kind of where my mind has been. And I've been watching this sort of indie hacker, the maker space, for product hunt space for a long time now. So a big fan of everyone in the community and everyone that's participating. This should be on ship streams right now. It's kind of so I like to participate as much as I can. I'm sort of a lurker. I'm in the comments a lot, but not necessarily communicating. Although I try to go to the indie hackers meetup here in Austin, so I am trying to be as involved in the community as in my own way as I can be, and then doing these streams too. Of course, it's also my way to kind of give back a little bit. But watching this community for a while, and one of the things that really got me, I'm going to switch my camera here to my screen. One of the things that like got me so excited, so like engaged in like the maker community was Peter Levels when he did his 12 startups in 12 months and this kind of challenge. And I was just blown away when I remember when this first came out. I was just like, man, this is amazing. This is like what a cool guy, what a cool idea. I can't believe he's going for it. And he's had tremendous success in everything that he's doing. But it's because of that hustle and that challenge that he set up for himself. He kind of created this and then very publicly shared it. And all of a sudden he was kind of locked into doing it. And so other people have done the challenge. I know a couple of folks out there on Twitter and in the space have done it. But that's kind of what got me thinking. Like, is there like some sort of challenge that we can work towards that would help people work towards this goal of monthly recurring revenue? And so I've kind of been looking around the space a little bit. There's ship streams, which I think if we refresh this, let's see how meta we can get. I should be, yeah, right here. Kind of looking at myself. Hopefully there's not, yeah, there's no audio here, so no feedback. So people are shipping live. I was looking around indie hackers. I haven't seen anything apart from the 12 startups and 12-week challenge. There was like a hackathon live stream thing. That like the Makers Festival that Product Hunt was doing. So again, Product Hunt is also kind of all over this as well. But then I also saw this company called Pioneer, and this also got me kind of thinking about like this challenge aspect. So they're building this sort of leaderboard where people submit, and that really anything. It could be a company, it could be physics research or art or whatever you want essentially. And then every week you try and move up the rankings and maybe get some startup money, get some other crazy benefits here. And then they've got tremendous experts here to really help you out. So, but what really intrigued me though was this concept of like a leaderboard, of the way you kind of can generate a score. And I think their scoring system is a little opaque. I haven't really been able to, I haven't done tons of looking into it, but I'm not quite sure, I guess, other participants are ranking you and your work, which I think is kind of interesting, and that could definitely be a component eventually of whatever we end up creating. But I want something much more tangible, and I want something that's kind of working towards this goal of monthly recurring revenue. So what I was kind of thinking of doing was setting up a contest of sorts, and the first person to reach $1,000 in monthly recurring revenue wins, right? And so that's a challenge. And we can kind of run that as many times as we want. We could do it over and over again. We could run different challenges. But the first one that I want to run to really try this idea with is who can get to $1,000 a month first and fastest. And I think that's fun. And so we're kind of making everything a competition, which I'm super motivated by competition. I know some other friends of mine are, and I know my siblings, my family's, that's probably where I get it from, motivated by competition. And so that's kind of the idea here. How fast or how quickly can somebody get to $1,000 in monthly recurring revenue? And so basically that's kind of the idea and kind of what I'm going to try building. And kind of go through my whole process here and how I would do this. So I literally haven't done anything. I've kind of done a little bit of a light competitive analysis, light research, just to see if anybody had done this before. I couldn't find anything. If you all find something, let me know. I would hate to steal somebody else's like direct idea. It's Real Thunder. We can certainly remix it, but that's another conversation. So let me know if y'all see something that's super similar to this. But I haven't really found anything in my lookings around. And it kind of is fitting, I think, with the zeitgeist or like the spirit of the times that we're kind of seeing ourselves in. There's this Pioneer app that's kind of doing this a little bit more through user feedback. I know Product Hunt has this kind of to-do list feature where like people can keep a log of their maker activities, which is pretty cool. I think that's pretty awesome as well. So people are getting more used to sort of like using these external tools. There's Whip Chat as well. I don't know if that's where people are kind of like makers. Everybody in the space are kind of sharing their work in real time. And then there's also this like open startup movement as well. So people are becoming much more comfortable sharing their revenue numbers, sharing the work that they're doing, and using the community to help keep themselves accountable. So I think just by this kind of looking at what's happening right now in our community, and also looking at what like Levels kind of did way back a couple of years ago now, which feels like way back. It's only a couple of years. That kind of, I feel like, triggered a lot of this maker community. At least it did for me. It opened my eyes to what was happening, and really got me into it. And so kind of combining a lot of all these different elements together into one sort of contest. So like I was saying, I haven't done any work apart from thinking about the idea, kind of coming up with it, and then looking around. And so what I'd like to do on these streams is kind of take this journey together, kind of go through it, and see what we can come up with here, and test it and validate it and kind of apply lean UX, lean startup techniques, design, UX design. So all of that really important design thinking that we normally do, all of our really good development best practices as well. So this is kind of a one-person side project startup hustle, and we'll see if we can figure it out. I don't have any ideas on how I'm going to monetize this. I think that'll come in the research and in the growth, but I'm pretty excited. It's a fun idea. At the very least, me and my friend will play, and we'll see how fast we can get to $1,000 in monthly recurring revenue. And you're all welcome to come join as well. So that is sort of the idea. So that's kind of, I guess, I'll leave that back up just so I can go ahead and create a document. So one thing I like to do when I have a new idea is put it in writing. And there are a couple of reasons why I like to do this. First, it really forces you to articulate your thought, like what exactly you're thinking. And the second really important reason is that now you have something to refer back to. You've kind of put a timestamp in something and you set it in stone. And so in 2 weeks when I'm like, what was that like idea again? Like what was all that excitement that I had at the begining? I can refer back to this and I can be like, this was the big idea and this is what I was really trying to accomplish. And so I think getting in writing, being able to articulate your thought process and what you're driving towards is super, super important, especially at the beginning. Like right now, all I want to do is jump into code and start executing this, and I've got to fight that initial instinct, fight that urge, and really kind of set myself up for future success. If you jump into the code, yes, you can make a lot of quick progress, but I find that I fizzle out over time, and that could just be me. I'm just working from my own experiences here. But again, that's kind of just what I like to do to get started. So that's what I'm going to start with here. I'm going to go ahead and kind of start articulating this big idea. And I'm actually going to update this. I like 12-point font for my body text. I don't know why. So let's kind of, we'll start with like an overview. And this you could do this in like a lean canvas. You could do this in a lot of different ways. But I just like to just get it on paper. Like what am I trying to even go about do here? So kind of just read a high. Well, that's changes my audio. Let's take a second here, and I'm just going to try and articulate what I just told y'all. So I guess instead of an overview, let's start with the big idea. So the big idea is to run a contest to see who can earn. I'm going to specify US dollars for now. And I should probably say USD. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. I'm going to spell this out. Monthly recurring revenue. MRR. First. That's the idea. That's the big picture. And so the other thing that I'm probably going to write about is like at least have a log of sort of my inspiration and why I thought they were inspiring. That's a bad habit of mine, is to just kind of like have like a whole list of links and like and then I'll like come back to them in a couple of weeks and I'll be like, why did I put this list together? Like I know these are important and sometimes I can just kind of look and it jogs my memory, but sometimes I'm just like, man, what was I thinking when I put this list together? So let's go ahead and just add these links and then I'll add a little bit more context. Product Hunt, another one. I've got a few other sites, so let's add them all. Barometrics, I believe, is one. Yeah. I was looking at them the other day. And I think Buffer is the other one. Buffer always super inspiring. Their whole open startup story. I love what they're doing. Transparency, I think that's what we want to know. Yeah. Let's go ahead and roll with that right now. Nice. So let me just kind of write a little explanation here. So inspired by the 12 startups in 12 months challenge. proves, or demonstrates at least. I wouldn't say proves. It's too strong. Folks enjoy watching / participating in an entrepreneurial, did I spell this right, contest. Pioneer app. So I'm really inspired by the leaderboard and that kind of structure. So I'm going to write that as my first sort of thought here. Yeah. So let's go ahead and leave that. Ship streams, so just kind of like sharing your work publicly. A lot of these are kind of in that same boat. Let's see if I did that right. Indie hackers, what's going on here? So love the community and the accountability. And honestly, that's kind of the same thing for Product Hunt and Whip Chat as well, or Work in Progress Chat. That's a great little community as well. Let's see here. Open Startup, Open Metrics. Let's kind of say that, Open Startup Metrics. So kind of equals public accountability. I think that's kind of this, I keep saying that, so that's kind of something I'm going to maybe make a note of here. And then sort of Open Startup Gurus. So maybe we can kind of take these keywords here, kind of these things that I keep saying at least, and maybe roll with that. So that one, accountability is kind of the big one. And that comes back to that external motivation as opposed to intrinsic motivation. So let's write that down. All right. Intrinsic. I think I might have had it before. Nope. Oh, I'm going to mess up everything. Motivation. There we go. But we have spell check, and I use Grammarly. Anyone's wondering what the heck that was. This idea of a contest or a challenge. I think challenge. There's an interesting semantics going on here. Like contest implies competition versus a challenge, which can be a little bit more like self-oriented. This feels more like a contest to me, though, kind of the direction that I'm heading in with this here. And then, I guess we keep saying community. That's a big one here as well. So fostering that through this platform somehow. And so I've got a vision for I think what I would like to build. What I want to do first, though, is validate that other people would even be interested in participating. I know I've got two, and that is myself and my friend who kind of sparked this whole idea. But if I could get to about 10 people kind of being like, yeah, I would love to do that, or just kind of interested, I feel like I'd be in really good shape here. So that's kind of the next thing that I'm going to start thinking about. And tends to be the next thing. Once I've kind of articulated this, I feel pretty good. It doesn't have to be like super complicated. Some people feel like I gotta write a paragraph here. That's not the point. This is an internal document for you. You can write your big sort of business plan or something else later, your big pitch deck later. This is just a tool for you to kind of be like in 2 weeks or 2 months, if you come back and you're like, what was I thinking about at that very beginning? And this was it. So all we're trying to do is to run a contest to see who can earn this $1,000 first. And I don't know if 1,000's too high. Maybe it's got to be 100. Maybe it's 500. Maybe there are like mini prizes that people could win along the way. I don't know. These are kind of fun ideas that we can play with as well. So what was I kind of saying? So validation. What is my or I'm going to say validation roadmap. So this is kind of where my head starts to jump. first. So I don't want to just build. I don't want to spend a ton of time and probably money. I've got to buy a domain name and all this kind of stuff, and hosting and all that. So I don't want to spend that money until I can not do that. So there are a couple of different ways we can go about validating this. The easiest way would probably be like a tweet. That would probably be like step one is like run a Twitter poll. So like kind of write some ideas here. Be a Twitter poll. One site that I absolutely love is this level.app site. And they've changed this a little bit. So they're always iterating on this. But what they did, what I thought was really cool, was they kind of like wrote a vision for the product up here and kind of described what they're trying to solve. And then they have this little sign-up form down here. So it's just your email address and your handle, which I think is just brilliant because it's not just like asking for your email. It's like in exchange for your email, you get your spot in the whatever we end up building. And as you can see, they've gotten a lot of traction here. They've got 6,000 something people. If we had 6,000 people sign up for this, we'd be over the moon, right? Even 100 people. So I just really love their setup here and what they decided to go for. And so I think this is one of the most awesome ways to validate an idea right now. And this, I've been trying to figure out how to do this in no code or as simply as possible. I just don't know. What I'm trying to figure out is how to do this validation to make sure like people don't have duplicates. So that is something that I just haven't found a service that does uniqueness validation. If you guys know any, I'd love to hear them. I've looked at like Typeform and Google Forms, Airtable, and a couple of other services, and nothing else is like we can solve this problem. So I might have to just code this in like Laravel or something and make it happen. But anyway, back to our validation roadmap. This might come next, sort of like a splash page with sign up. Level.io or .app. I know there's supposed to be an accent on that. I'm sorry if we have any French friends. Would you consider WordPress to be no/low code? It depends on how much customization you're going to do. It could be no code. I've definitely set up a WordPress site kind of quickly and left a lot of the default stuffs. But you can become very code intensive very quickly, and so I think no code is like really like when I think no code, I'm like it's an Airtable form with like HTML front end, and that's it. Most WordPress forms have a no duplicates option. That's awesome, actually. That would be good to know. Let's think about that. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Let me actually write that down. Maybe. Oh, thank you for the follow. Maybe use WordPress. That would be really legit. All right, so that's something we can consider there. And I really just need to do the front end. Yeah, that could be nice. I'm in my head probably overcomplicating it and just haven't considered other solutions. So that's awesome. Thank you for that. What else is going on here? So that's sort of the validation roadmap, and let's put numbers by here. Yes, it's nice to kind of come up with these like activities, but if you don't have metrics or at least something that you're aligning yourself towards, you're not going to know if you're on the right track here. So gauging interest here, a Twitter poll. If we can get like 10 yes, then I feel good. And then if we do a splash page with a sign up, maybe that would be, so that's going to be a little bit more work. And so if we can get like, I'm going to say 20, so we double, we get 20 signups. Then I feel pretty confident that we're moving in the right direction. The beautiful thing about that sign up page is that people are putting in their emails, and so that way we can reach out to them and be like, why is this interesting to you? Oh, what kind of project am I programming? So I'm just going to I'm just kind of rewinding, but we won't go too far into the details here because we just talked about it a bunch. But basically, I just want to run a contest to see who can earn $1,000 in monthly recurring revenue first. So it's kind of inspired by the 12 startups in 12 months challenge for levels. I keep saying levels.io. It's Peter Levels. And then a bunch of other sources and kind of this open maker community that we find ourselves in today. So that's what I'd like to build. And we're gonna treat this like a full startup, like a full process here. So we're gonna start with this. This is all the work I've done on this so far, and then we're gonna kind of see if we can validate it, and then go from there. So let's see here. So we're gonna gauge interest via a Twitter poll. That's kind of the first thing here. So let's open Twitter. Let's see how we're looking. If you all want to vote on it, I think that's kosher. So let's see here. I'm gonna see if we do the question mark. Phrasing poll questions is kind of hard, so let's kind of think about this. And maybe we'll go over back to here, so I don't. A, I have a log of it, and B, because tracking like how you've asked things, I think this is also super important. Kind of brings in some good systems into your thinking. So let's see here. You'd be interested in participating in a contest to see who can earn 1K in MRR first. I don't know, something like that. And this word, I hate the word wordsmith, but I'm going to say it. Let's wordsmith it and kind of think about this a little bit more. So instead of like, would you be interested? I think, would you participate? That's also, so it makes it more action oriented. A contest, see who can earn 1K in MRR first. So I think that's fairly on the nose. I don't know. I guess, so contests, the thing that I don't like about contests is it implies a prize. I don't have any sort of a prize to give other than spend time with me or talk to me. So I guess I could add a monetary prize or something like that. And or if this became popular, I could reach out to people hopefully and ask for some prizes. I think that's what those pioneer folks did. They sort of ran some experiments and then got up to something like that. So maybe I'm going to be a little bit more specific about this. So instead of 1K, kind of do 1,000. That way people are kind of into the idea. So when you participate in a contest to see who can earn, so I don't love this section right here to see who can earn. Like it's there, but I don't know if it's exactly what we want to do. Or it kind of feels just like a little too wordy. I know the MacBook fan is killing me. I've got lots of programs open. I've got many tabs, other tabs. OBS is really what kills it. Maybe change contest to race. Oh, I like race. Race is kind of fun. It implies a little bit more activity. I like that. That's good. See, this is why I'm live streaming this, because it's so fun to talk with y'all and hear all these different ideas. And this is already so much better than if I just worked alone. So thank you for that. Yeah, let's go with that. I mean, we can overthink it too. So let's just kind of roll with it. And we're gonna add a little tweet poll here. Yes. No. I don't know. I don't think we need other options than that. And we'll kind of run this. I don't know. 24 hours if I've ran polls in the past. Time travel would be more fun. Yeah. I've run polls in the past. I normally run them for like a day, but I think this is going to work for us. All right, let's do this out. If y'all are interested in participating, go to my Twitter. I guess I'm just Nick J. Basile. I'll drop this in chat, so if you guys want to vote, you can. But yeah, I really want to look at those notifications, but I'll hold off. I know I'm live. Those little notifications, they get you. All right, so we're cooking with gas on that. So we kind of, if we get 10 yes, then we're going to keep on moving. And I'm just going to get rid of this because we decided to go with that. Alrighty. I guess I could technically strike it through, and that would be, I don't know, depends on how much data you want. When we write the startup book together, because we'll live stream that too, this will be good material for that. So, the memoir. Cool. So next thing that I want to do, so if that gets 10, I would feel pretty confident about it. If the splash page can get 20 signups, that would be awesome. After the splash page, I want to have conversations. So talk with signups. So do a little bit of contextual research. And if I could probably have like a, let's see. Let's just say like 33%, so a third. Is that a yes rate? That's kind of what we're looking for, and I'll make this consistent. So if I talk to, what's that? Maybe 50, is that like 7 people, more or less? Or at least if I reach out to all 20 of them, and then 7 of them say, yeah, I want to talk to you about this. I want to, this seems like a cool idea. I'd feel really good about that. And I would also get a lot more contextual information, and that's sort of how I can do my discovery for this. Like we're kind of doing some discovery. We did some light competitive analysis or just like research. And I haven't found anything. I keep saying it. So if anyone finds anything like this, let me know. I'd love to see it. And how we can tweak and remix it from there. But this is kind of where my head is going. And from there, I feel if we could do all that, I would say let's build it. Let's build the thing. And we can get into sort of the design process a little bit more from there. So that's kind of our roadmap here. And we've kind of done step 1 already, which is pretty nice. We can check Twitter. It's been about 3 seconds, but we can check Twitter and see what the results have been so far. More notifications, right now. Wow! 4 votes. Thank you. I hope that was everybody here, but that's pretty awesome. We're almost halfway. Man, that's pretty awesome. So that's actually the fastest my polls have ever done. So thank you, everybody. Cool. So we might be well on our way. If this goes, it won't go viral. But if it gets like 20 or 30, that's like a really like awesome, strong signal. So I would feel super, super good about that, which I think is pretty awesome. And so, what was I going to say here? So that's like a super strong signal. And again, this is like, validation can be this simple. Start with a Twitter poll. Start asking, just, is this even feasible? And this can be your kind of process here. So what I do want to look at is WordPress a little bit more, and sort of these form plugins, because we're kind of waiting on our validation to be live and working. So let's kind of look at forms. Do you have a good example, Darren, of a form plugin that you would recommend? There's probably like Woo Form. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. Yeah, let's look at that. I'll also pull up Woo Forms. Right, let's look at that. I think they're sort of the big one. Oh, this might actually work out of the box for me. Custom rules. Ooh, that could be what we're talking about. So the issue I was running into, Gravity Forms does it when I'm checking the free ones. Oh, okay. That's awesome. There's just so many little form builders these days. Okay, Gravity Forms does it. Awesome. I think I've worked with this in the past for just $60. That's not awful, but I know if I could not spend it. Woo Forms is hosted. Typeform. That's not the worst thing in the world. If I could run with that as an MVP, that would be super awesome. So let's look at the docs and see if they talk about their validation in here. Embedding a form, field types, single line text field, field settings. All right, we're on the right track here. No duplicates. Oh, no way. I tell you, it's been so hard to find no duplicates here. Email, single line. Oh, this could just save me so much. If they have an API, I will just be over the moon kind of happy. Oh, SurveyMonkey does this. I'm learning so much here. All right. Let's see if they have an API down here. I always go to the footer. I feel like I can find API stuff so much faster. They probably, enter pages or use a REST API. Alrighty, let's just try here. Single line. Oh, duplicates, that is right on the money. Oh man, I am over the moon excited if this is going to work for us. And so, form settings here. How much? That I don't really care about. I don't care about tracking on this. This is super nice. Super, super nice. I wonder how much I can style this. I don't care about that. Add CSS layout keywords. Oh, can I style this? Oh, what happened? Like, jumped me out for a second. Oh, maybe because did I click that? Is that what's going on? Yeah, it goes to the docs. That just kind of, I guess their default if they don't have anything is to go to the docs. Alright, this could work for us. Yeah. No way. This could be exactly what we're going to do here. Okay, cool. So let's look on Twitter and see how we're doing. If you're up to town already, we're just going to move into the next part of this. So share with your friends if you want this to go faster. Although I guess that's a false signal. Alright, we're still on 4. That's all good. No worries. I think everybody does this, but I always keep refreshing the forums to see what's going on. Hosting your CSS file. Alright, let's sign up for this. Let's go for it. I'm convinced that this is at least worth trying. So, we go back to the... What happened here? That's.com, great. Alrighty, we'll sign up. I'm going to do this off screen though. I guess I don't have to do that. I could just... I've got something here. Yeah, that'll work. Not that I don't trust you guys, it's just that I don't want the rest of the internet to see. Nice. Is this going to come together? I think so. Alright, I'm going to verify my email. I'll do that real fast and then we'll keep on rolling. Nice. I think we're cooking with gas now. Alright, we're back. So I can have one user. Alright, if I get okay, this is perfect. Let's create a new form. I want to do this from scratch. So, alright, add a field. So I'm going to need email. That's kind of fun. This is my micro copy, I like that. And then single line text, and we're going to call this a profile. I guess, or username is probably more appropriate. No duplicates. And just to double check what's going on here. Wufu verify is unique and not been submitted previously. Nice. That's all we want. CSS layout keywords. And then also no duplicates. But have both of these be required. Encrypted? No. I guess maybe? This is not sensitive data though. Because, no, that will be public. This will probably be their slug, so it will not be sensitive. Alright. Oh, was it working? Oh no. Did I delete everything? Man. Not very forgiving if we screw this up. Okay, we're going to email. Here, let's do everything we just did. Acquired, no duplicates. Acquired, no duplicates. And we'll just do username. I'll save the form. Start there. Continue editing. Cool. Alrighty here. And then, what's next? So username, what were we just doing? I don't care about branching. Form settings maybe? Collect IP addresses, no I don't want that for GDPR purposes. I don't really care about a CAPTCHA. I don't need to do any of this. I'm going to try and hit their API and see if and do this maybe through Netlify or something like that. That would be super awesome. I'd be super stoked if that's going to work for us. I don't need a payment integrate. Alright, show field. Lots of good stuff here. Alright. Share this form. That seems to be the way to do it. Alright, there's a link. This is the way to embed it. I thought it said something about APIs. That text there, but so we can embed it. You can do it that way. Oh, it's got a WordPress integration. That's really nice. Title link. That's funny. All right, let's try and figure out what the API style is going to be here. Those are help. Let's type that in here. Webhooks, that's what we want. They've hidden it away. It's probably in here. Share form, entry, payments, private, password, and more. API information. Awesome. I hope this is not. Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. It's not what I wanted. Oh boy. Oh boy. How am I going to hide that real fast here? Alrighty. You guys are going to have to bear with me for a second while I read this and make sure we're on the right page. It's not that I don't trust y'all, it's that I don't trust everybody else on the internet. Let's see. Submit, edit, retrieve data contained within your account. Use it. You need to give your unique API key. Don't give this key out. I just reset it, so that old one's not going to work in case you were trying. I was listed by... Check out the API docs. That's what I want. Bid markup, not an iframe at the same time. That could be more of what I'm looking for. Alright, I'm going to exit out of that so I can share the screen a little bit more. Alright, we're back. Using API information in webhooks. So we got the key. API IDs. Paid feature. Oh, I don't care about integrations. That's fine. Oh, API docs. That's probably what I want. Awesome. Okay, let's kind of read this here. So, this is the less sexy side of working with this kind of stuff, but, it gets the job done. Oh, Node.js. Okay, great. I was like, do they not have a JavaScript library for this? I wonder if I need this on the server side or not. But anyway, we'll figure that out. I was trying to do this really light. Let's get a Netlify link out there and kind of see how it goes. That's my goal. So we'll see how we can do this. All right, forms, entries. So we'll probably need some. All right, I want to learn how we auth this first. It's the API. With Netlify, oh, it is server side. Oh, interesting. With Netlify, I know I can set whatchamacallit, env configuration stuff in not in the client side code. So that's gonna be nice. But let's see here. I mean, I guess I could do this in a Lambda would work. Oh, it would. We could write a Lambda function for that. That is good thinking. As well. So with Node, use request library. Can we not do this on the client? Seems like this would be something we could do. We just need this one package, right? Alright, let's go to entries and see what this looks like. So, I want to make a post request to this, right? Submit entry, that's what we're talking about. Method post. Are there any errors? Nice. I don't know, this looks like it's doable here. And then hopefully this is like good about returning the errors. You would expose your API key. Possibly, but I think there's a way in Netlify to obfuscate that. And so it's like in your Netlify configuration, and then you can still access it on the client side. So where did it go? Netlify, the env variables. Yeah. So you can set these up in your Netlify board. And so we should, everything goes to plan, be good to do that. So that would be super awesome for us. So I think we're going to be okay. So it like lives on the Netlify server, and then we can just kind of access it. So that would be pretty dope. Alrighty, let's kind of get cracking on this. Let's see, how's our tweet doing? Let's keep checking in on that. I know I should just leave it up, but up to 5 or 50%. We're halfway there. That's pretty exciting. Nice, that's pretty dope. Cool. So let's fire up. We'll do this in Visual Code Studio. Why not? And we'll fire up iTerm. All the important things to create a website these days. I'm not going to design this. I'm going to design it in the browser just because it'll be a little bit easier, at least for me. So go to desktop. We'll go to my code, and then we're just going to make a directory. And what do we call this? We'll call this. I don't even have a name for this idea. Maybe that's what we need to think about. We need to think about the branding. We'll just call this like 1K MRR like splash, something like that. Nice. We'll run npm init because I do want to pull in some of those files there. Oh, that's supposed to run a flag on that. I forget what the flag is. I think it's just yes. Alright, I think that'll work for us. Open folder. All sorts of little projects in here. And it'll play. Nice. Make an index.html. So that's there. And what am I going to do next here? I do want to. I'm going to use Tailwind CSS to style this, just because it's so fast and easy. What is the next thing that I want to do here? I'm going to have to write the HTML. I've been a programmer now for several years, and I still have to look up every single time. Like, I know we need an HTML tag and a body tag and all that stuff, but like the little details, like the language and everything, I could probably do it from memory, but I just always look it up from like a previous project, so I'm going to do that. Let's open that up. We've got some very similar kind of project, actually. So we're just going to grab this like so. And we'll go ahead. Yeah, we do this all the time. I think there's this myth that we're always like super like on our games, and yeah, we are. Like, we know where to look. Like, you probably went to the PHP docs and we're fine. It happens. But even this stuff, like, it's like, oh, I gotta look everything up here. Okay, dope. So we've got Font Awesome. I don't think we need Font Awesome yet, at least. It's a Google font, ASAP. That we don't need that. We might, but we don't just yet. Oh, that's like a good trivia question. I'm gonna. It does need an underscore. Am I right? I can't remember either. So I feel like most PHP has underscores. Okay, get rid of this guy now. JS has an underscore. Oh no. See, I've been working with PHP for years, and can't remember infal. You're right, infal is one word, and it's brackets and or not brackets, parentheses or whatever. We'll call this race. That makes more sense. Alrighty. And this should be coming up somewhere. Hello world. That's going to fail because that doesn't exist. Alrighty. What did we call this repository again? 1K MRR Splash. Alright. I have Laravel Valet installed, which is awesome, but that means that I don't have to set up a server for myself. MRR Splash test, not .com. Alright, there we go. So this can run for us in the browser over here, which is pretty nice. I don't have to set that up or like open a file or something like that. It's kind of got a mini server running, which is nice. And we can get rid of this class because we don't need that. So we've got English here, and what I really want to do is just test this form functionality. So we're gonna have a form. Where did we go here? Too much going on. I just want to see if this is going to work for us. So we're going to install request. I may kind of mention this up here. That? Okay. I was like, does this... So in the... I'll keep saying Airbnb in my head. Airtable. API docs, they will like use your values. And so... that is something I'm glad it's not doing here. Let's see, with no user request library, npm install. I thought that was it, but you never know sometimes. Sometimes they want you on like the different branch or something, so good to check. So we'll install request. I guess we should probably add a JavaScript file, so let's call it like main.js. I guess app.js. Main.js feels a little old school, doesn't it? I don't know. Maybe for me at least. Nice. JavaScript. It's been a minute since I've written JavaScript. Beautiful library. Alright, that's fine. So let's see if we still got it. I think so. Like riding a bike. We're just going to copy this guy here. So we're going to post to this, and I've got to replace that with my subdomain. JSON's fine, I think. Probably have to change the password here. Alright. You can go ahead and... Alright, so I'm going to have to get the form fields. Alright, let's build the form first. And then kind of roll from there. We can roll that into a method or something and then be good. What are we going to need? Kind of scaffold this out really fast. We'll call this email. Email. Type will be email. That looks good for me. Name. Probably have a name on it. All these little details. That's the problem sometimes with using frameworks. It's because a lot of this stuff gets like scaffolded, and then you're like, oh, I don't remember how anything works anymore. And that's not ideal, but it'll work. This will just be text, and this will be username. And I think we got some sort of button. Obviously, we can style this up a little better. This is not exactly no code. To be quite honest, we could have just shared the form or something, but I wanted to have a website at least that feels a little bit more real. So that's kind of where it just adds credibility. So I think there is a lot to be said for having a credible app and making it feel like this is like legit, this is a real thing. And so that is kind of where my mind's at here and why I want to make sure we have a website. All right, let's go ahead and grab, I guess we could put IDs on these. So make it a little bit easier in our JavaScript here. Let's call this email. I guess we could use camel casing. All right. This will just be username. So the only thing I want to do now is, all right, we've kind of got this logic in here. Let's go ahead and just comment this out for the moment. Function. I'm trying to think if we need to set this on the window or not. I think we just define it. So let form submit. I've written a lot of Vue.js lately, and this would be trivial in Vue, and I'm trying to remember my regular element by ID. Let's start with that. And this will be email field, and the other one will be username field. It's good practice sometimes to work without a framework or something like that, because you're like, oh, here's all this vanilla JavaScript that I haven't done in so long. And then we'll just say this is equal to email. Alrighty. So we could do like a watcher, or we could do this way here. I think this is going to be fine. I just want console log. This right now, email, and username. Alrighty. And so this is getting imported. So this might be a little old school, but we'll do an on click. I guess on submit. Oop. What did we say? Form submit. Apologies if this is like terrible JavaScript. It's been so long since I've had to write vanilla JavaScript. Requires not defined. That's fine. So it's gonna work. Oh, I've got to prevent default. Of course I have to do that. Everyone's pass that through. Alrighty. That work? Or did that refresh? Why is that not cooperating with me? I would anticipate that would work. Just passing it through. I don't think I wrote that. I think my IDE did that for me, which is pretty awesome. It's not working. And that means Google. Don't add E in your HTML. Oh, is that it? Thank you. Even better than Google is a chat that is jumping in to correct when I err, which is awesome. Thank you. Alright, let's just type some of this in. That's again going to do that error. No, let me do a hard refresh here and I'll get rid of some of this stuff. That's for some reason refreshing. It's nice that it's at least coming up through here. I think you need to take off the parentheses. Oh, is that what's doing it? That could be it. It seems to still be an issue here. Let's just kind of Google. There we go. There we go. That's not what I want. Return. Oh, I have to return it. That's so odd. That doesn't feel right. Let's try that, see if it works. Yeah, that doesn't feel good, but I don't know. We'll get it working first, and then we'll get it better. Nope, that didn't work. This feels out of date. How old is this? 2011? Sometimes I'll come into tools and just set it to like the past year for some of these searches. I don't care about... Yeah, this is what I want. MDN is always my favorite. Alrighty. What's down here? We're just going to bind this to the form now. Do it that way. Let's see. There we go. That's what I want. And what do we call this? Form. I don't know. No, that's not. Yeah, I think that's what we called it. Contact form. Makes more sense. That drives me crazy. This action. So in PHP Storm, that's like how you like select all that text, and then here that's like moving it, and it just drives me crazy. Did we change that? Contact form. Okay. And that also, these little like differences between your editors can drive you crazy, so don't let them. Alright, and that's the event, so we'll just go ahead and do that. Right, that should work. So because we don't have an action or a method, let's add that in there and see what happens. That looks promising. Alrighty, so I guess I gotta get the value. That'll work. Now we're cooking gas. Maybe we can do .val. Nope. Is it a method? Ooh. Or is this jQuery? Is this old jQuery that seeped in my head? I say old jQuery and it's not that old. I guess I have to say value. No value. There we go. There we go. Okay, cool. So we kind of got the form working here. We're a little over the hour, but I do want to get this done. So we'll kind of come in here. And we'll wrap this in a method. And realizing I'm doing this like in the modern stuff syntax, and that might not be kosher going forward, but we'll play with it. Okay, so we'll call this email, and we'll call this username, and field 1, right? I think this corresponds like that. And then username. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. Something like that. And then here, let's go console that out. I think it'll be useful. It's API and call, which is a terrible method name. A little bit of do as I say, not as I do here, but we're just trying to see if it works. And then we can figure out how to make it nice from there. Okay, I need to update the authentication on this, which I don't want to show all y'all, so it might just be me talking here for a second. Apologies. Not that I don't trust y'all as everybody else on the internet, so Okay, access to the API. We include it as the API key is the username and portion of basic off. Each place username, any value, our examples. Oh, all right. So I'm gonna find my API key again. It locked me out, which is super fun. Right. If this works the way I'm expecting it to work, I'm going to be so over the moon happy about this. Alright, API information. Let me grab this guy here. So, where's that guy going to go? And then I think I just need to update my namespace, my subdomain, which I'm not quite sure what that is. Here. Oh, that should just be this. Just do the profile name here. All right, let's see if this works. I guess I can do the test for everybody. All right. Oh, there we go. Am I in the right one? There it is. Cool. All right, so we've got untitled form. We've had 0 entries. I'm gonna come over here and be like, hey, let me just use. And that will just say profile. All right, we're gonna submit that. Did that fail us? It did. Acquire is not defined. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let me go back. See what's going on. Acquire is not defined. Oh, because I don't have a build system here? That should work though. I have to go to is that what's going on here? I do need some sort of a build here. This might have been what we were talking about. Yeah, it's a Node.js thing. Is there a way to do... I guess I kind of need that package, huh? Alright. Well, in theory, if we can figure this out, it's going to start working. But I'm only spending like an hour on this on Wednesdays, and then on the weekends I work on this a little bit longer. So I guess we'll have to wrap this up for now, and then so I can eat dinner, and then we can kind of go from there. Thank you all for tuning in and for the support and all the help today. I definitely need a little help with all this JavaScript stuff because it's been a second. So thank you, and thank you for, I guess, being interested in the idea. I'm assuming that was some of y'all. So tell your friends. If your friends are interested, let me know, because I want to talk to them. I want to hear what they have to say. So we'll kind of keep hacking on this in our free time here, and hopefully in maybe a month or so, if we can move pretty quick, we'll have some sort of contest running, and we'll have some sort of website up and at 'em. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll post this on YouTube, so that way if you want to like watch a recap or something like that, you have access to that. If you want to chat with me, the Discord is open, so that's just down below. You want to hop on. So enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll see you on Saturday morning. I'll go back to working on my portfolio, and maybe we'll do a little bit of this at the end. But we'll kind of play it by ear. So have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you later.